Oh yeah, Bad Reputation from Los Straitjackets, from their album Los Straitjackets Play Favorites. Before that, Fortune Cookie from the Further Adventures of Los Straitjackets, and one of my favorite versions, Jack the Ripper, from Los Straitjackets Play Favorites, and of course from the brand new record Jet Set, which we've been playing a lot of right here on WUSB, Wrong Way In. And we are lucky enough right now to have Mr. Danny AMIS, Daddy Grande himself, on the air with us. Danny, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, and you're playing back with the Straitjackets now, which is a wonderful thing.
I sure am. Yes, we just did 3 dates. We did 3 dates in California, just San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco last week, and they were great. They were lots of fun. They went fantastic.
That's great. And tell us just briefly, I know you're packed with interviews today and doing stuff promo-wise for the new album, Jet Set, which we have been playing here like mad on WUSB. But tell us a little about the history of the band, how the band started, how you got into the Raybeats maybe, just as concise as you can do it, because I know you're pressed for time.
Oh, my, those are a lot of stories.
I know.
Well, let's see. I started playing guitar instrumentals, well, as a kid, I suppose. I guess I started my first instrumental band in Minneapolis back in the late 70s, and a band from New York called the Raybeats came to Minneapolis. We opened for them, and I became very good friends with them. And then a while later, when my band was breaking up, the bass player from the Raybeats died, and I ended up moving to New York and taking his place. I did that for a few years, and then I ended up in Nashville for a few years, working for 10 years, actually 14, but for 10 years I worked as an audio engineer and a stage manager at the Grande Opry and the Nashville Network. And then it was while I was in Nashville that I met Eddie and Jimmy, and we put Los Straitjackets together. And that's
wow, that's
a brief story.
Yeah, and you got to work, of course, with the great Pat Irwin, too, who's a good friend of ours here at the station when you were in the Raybeats.
Sure did.
Yeah, great guy and a great player. Okay, so Los Straitjackets formed. You guys were together very, very briefly, and then there was a split. There was no activity for a while, right? And then you guys kicked it back up?
Well, yeah, it was really just a side project in the beginning. It was just a little summer project while Eddie and Jimmy were in between tours. Jimmy had just finished an album with Webb Wilder and was going to go out on tour with him a little later, and Eddie was in the process of forming the Planet Rockers. And I was still working at TNN anyway, so it was just a summer project that went over much better than any of us expected. And a few years later, when we were all free to actually pursue it a little more, we reformed the group and added a fourth member, added a bass player. I switched from bass back to guitar, and we also added masks and added Los to the name, and we became Los Straitjackets.
Right, and of course, in addition to the great playing, that whole kind of surf vibe and early rock and roll vibe, you have your whole stage show, which is always entertaining and funny, and you guys are just the most fantastic group on stage. And how long did it take you to get all that end of it together?
Not long. I mean, we had I guess it was a work in progress, I suppose. Mm-hmm. We had the masks right from the beginning, and the idea of speaking Spanish to an audience in Nashville that wouldn't understand a word of it was part of it. And then it was later on that we added some choreography to the show, and really just with time we just time and practice, the show got better. We've been together 18 years now, more than that.
Yeah, and the show is always a great show. And how many albums now, Danny, have you guys recorded?
I did an interview earlier, and they told me it was 18.
Okay. Got to leave it to the DJs to figure things out, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, I don't know if they're, I know that wouldn't include a lot of, like, projects we did in other countries.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah. And you guys are great lovers of vinyl. You guys put out singles periodically, too, which is a wonderful thing. And Nevermind, I think, your version of Nevermind, I think, has been a college radio hit for a very long time now. And it's been a lot of fun to hear that every once in a while, every time we put it on. So how do you decide what you're going to do? Do you just whatever anybody feels like doing as far as a cover goes, if you're not writing it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, just whatever strikes us. We try to, we try to do as much original as we can, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then it's just a really cool, fun song that we'd like to cover, or maybe a really bad one that we want to do our own spin on, like when we did I shouldn't say that.
Come on, you can say it.
Well, not a bad one, but let's say the theme from Titanic was a lot of people were tired of hearing, and so we changed it and made it, I think, a little more fun.
You absolutely did, and a lot more concise than the original version, fortunately. So that was great.
I shouldn't have said that. I haven't done interviews for a couple of years, so I just let something slip. I shouldn't have.
No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right, so
I'm sorry, Celine.
Now I guess you won't be on Celine's next album as guest guitarist.
Oh man, I blew that.
I'm telling you. So you a little while back you took kind of a hiatus from the Straitjackets, and for health reasons, and the Straitjackets still kind of did some gigs with some subs here and there and some additional members, and now you're back. And how long were you on hiatus there, Danny? And how is your health now?
Well, I hadn't played in about 2.5 years. I was diagnosed with cancer a couple of years ago, and that definitely slowed things down a bit for me. It was bone marrow cancer, and it also deteriorated my bones and broke my back in 6 places, which was no fun. And I'm 4 inches shorter now.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That's weird.
And then I went through a stem cell transplant and all that, and I was pretty late getting diagnosed, so it didn't look good. I shouldn't have made it, but I did anyway.
And that's to the benefit of all of us. How was, if you don't mind my asking, I just know this is something you tend to be a little vocal about. How was your health insurance situation the whole time as a musician?
I was uninsured when I got diagnosed because I'm a musician, and we don't have an employer that helps us with that sort of thing. So, yeah, I was uninsured, and I had to go to the county hospital, and well, they don't always give you the best. There are a lot of tests and procedures that are a little too expensive for uninsured patients, so you don't get that treatment. And I definitely was not going to make it. If I wouldn't have made it if the Affordable Care Act didn't get signed, and I got Obamacare just in the nick of time to save my life.
Wow. That's
a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, that doesn't start till 2014. That's because most people don't realize that there was a plan put in place right from the beginning for people with pre-existing conditions.
Right. And that's a great thing, Danny, that you're still rocking along and doing it. So how long have you been? So you guys recorded the new album Jet Set. How quickly did that come together?
How quickly did it come together? Same as any of our albums. The nice thing is, well, I don't know if it was nice, but since I've been stuck at home for the last couple of years, I was able to spend a lot of time songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of good tunes ready to go, and I think when Eddie heard my tunes, he said, "Well, I've got some good ones too," and he had some great ones, and we ended up with a really great album, and I'm really proud of this one.
Yeah, it's a great sound. It's the whole vibe of the whole record, and it's very music where it always has that Straitjacket sound kind of. It's diverse. You guys are pulling from all different kind of places, and I think the multiple songwriters is a huge benefit. Everybody coming from different angles.
Yeah, and for the last few albums, we've been collaborating a lot more, and I think that it just to me, I think that made a lot of the songs sound a little too much the same, and I like this approach a lot better, where we have a lot more diversity on the album, and it's like our first couple of albums.
Right. Because did you guys come in on those first couple of albums? Did you guys come in separately with songs already written, or did you just decide then to write them separately?
Yeah, we came in with songs already written on the first couple of albums.
Right, and that was pretty much probably what happened in this case with Jet Set, right? With each of you, with you and Eddie, and coming in with different material that you already had been working on due to the hiatus.
Yeah, due to circumstances, that's exactly what happened.
And it really makes the record really shine. It's really great record. So live. You're not doing all the gigs on the tour, right? But you're doing some of them, the current tour for the Straitjackets?
No, I have to pace myself. There's no way I could handle the kind of heavy touring they still like to do.
Right.
And they're playing almost every night, and I can't do that. I would definitely I'd die if I tried to do that. So I'm doing a total of 10 shows this month. I'm just like, I think they're doing probably 25, and I'm doing about 10.
Okay.
So, not quite half of them, and I'll come out. They'll do a few songs first, and then I'll come out because I can't quite handle the whole set yet.
Well, the nice thing about that entrance is that it does say on the ads and on the marquee, it says featuring Daddy-O Grande. So that's always great.
Sure, I like that.
Yeah. And you're going to be in New York, I think in Brooklyn on October 5th.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and you'll be, I believe you're billed to play that show, so we're very much looking forward to that. We're going to be there. And matter of fact, I'm going to have some tickets to give away for that the week before. And we're going to be very, very excited to see you at the Bell House in Brooklyn. So how has playing live, have you been energized playing live again? Are you excited by doing that again? Or is it still a bit of a strain or what?
Oh, very much so. It's a little of both. It's both energizing and exhausting.
Okay.
But, it's great. It's a lot of fun. We've done 3 shows so far. I did San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, and the shows went great. And we had a lot of fun, and everything is just, yeah, it's looking really good. The show is really fun and exciting, and I was hoping that would be the case, and didn't know if it would be or not, but it is.
Yeah. And so, Danny, thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a schedule to keep this evening and doing some interviews, etc. And thank you for spending some time here on Finn's Revolution on WUSB. And for all of you interested, tomorrow evening, you can just search Daddy-O Grande WUSB tomorrow evening. It will be up on YouTube interview, and you can go back and give this little interview a listen. Daddy-O Grande, Danny AMIS, thank you so much for joining us on The Revolution, and we shall be in touch, and we'll see you in Brooklyn.
Okay, great.
Take care, man.
Thank you.